At 6:30 in the morning, guards at one of the most secure prisons in America found Jeffrey Epstein dead in his cell. He was supposed to be on suicide watch. He wasn't. His cellmate had been moved out the night before. The two guards assigned to check on him every 30 minutes had both fallen asleep at the same time, and the cameras outside his cell had malfunctioned. All of them on the same night. The official ruling was suicide.
Mr. Epstein, how long have you been sexually attracted to underage minor females?
Objection, harassing, argumentative. Are you kidding?
But Epstein was 3 weeks away from the trial of the century. A trial where he was expected to name names, powerful names, the kind that end careers, that topple governments, and then, conveniently, he was gone. So today we're working backwards. Because to understand why Epstein had to disappear, you need to understand what he had built and who he had built it with. Because some of the most serious analysts in the world believe this wasn't just a criminal network. It was something far more organized, far more deliberate, and backed by people with a lot more to lose than he did. If you're new here, this is what we do on Just Curious. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein grew up in Brooklyn. No college degree, no financial qualifications. He talked his way into a teaching job at one of Manhattan's most elite prep schools, then somehow landed at Bear Stearns, one of Wall Street's most powerful firms. He left under unclear circumstances. Then in the mid-1980s, he became the personal money manager for Les Wexner, the billionaire founder of Victoria's Secret.
Did you ever witness Mr. Epstein have sexual contact of any kind with young women or girls?
Absolutely not.
Wexner didn't just hire him, he gave Epstein power of attorney, access to his finances, his properties, his entire network. No one has ever fully explained how a man with Epstein's background earned that level of trust. By the 1990s, Epstein had a Manhattan mansion, a private island, a ranch in New Mexico, a private jet, and a contact book that read like the guest list for running the world. Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's jet 26 times. White House visitor logs show Epstein visited the Clinton White House 17 times. Most visits accompanied by a different young woman each time.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Trump and Epstein were close for over a decade, described by people who knew them as a jet-setting duo, until a falling out in 2004. 1 year before the FBI began investigating Epstein for the first time. Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, one of the most powerful men in the UAE, chairman of one of the world's largest port operators, Ehud Barak, former Prime Minister of Israel. And we'll be coming back to Barak later because his story is central to the spy angle. William Burns, a future CIA director, who met Epstein 3 times in 2014, years before taking the agency's top job. And here's the thing. These weren't chance encounters. These were arranged, coordinated, repeated. Many of these people came back to Epstein again and again, even after his 2008 conviction, even after the whole world knew what he was.
In addition, Epstein will serve 12 months of community service at his own nonprofit, the Florida Science Foundation, and he has to stay away from minors.
What made Epstein so valuable to people like this wasn't just money, it was access, information. What did all these powerful men actually want from Epstein? And more importantly, what did he want from them? Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. This was not the first time.
Would you raise your hand, please? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. Would you please state your full name?
Jeffrey Edward Epstein.
In 2006, the FBI opened an investigation into Epstein for the abuse of dozens of underage girls at his Palm Beach mansion. Federal prosecutors described a case that could have put him away for life. Instead, he was offered a deal, a sweetheart deal. He pleaded guilty to 2 minor state charges, served 13 months in a private wing of a county jail, with work release 6 days a week. The victims weren't told about the deal until after it was signed. Years later, when the prosecutor who signed that deal was asked by Trump transition officials why he'd gone so easy, his reported answer was just 6 words: Epstein belonged to intelligence. Leave it alone. He didn't say which intelligence service. That deal didn't just protect Epstein, it sent a message. This man was untouchable. And after 13 months, he walked free and went straight back to doing exactly what he'd been doing before. Multiple sources, victim testimonies, and released documents all point to the same thing. Epstein's properties were fitted with hidden surveillance cameras. Bedrooms, bathrooms, every room, every property.
There was a room at Epstein's mansion in the Caribbean where from the floor to the ceiling it was just monitors.
Right.
And there were guys in there monitoring the monitors. Every room in the house and every bathroom in the house was wired for video.
Former CIA officer John Kiriakou said it plainly. There is only one reason you wire every room of your house with hidden cameras. You are collecting material on everyone. In intelligence terms, this is known as compromat, the oldest tool in the spy playbook. Every powerful person who visited his island, his Manhattan townhouse, his ranch is potentially on camera, doing things they would never want the world to see. And the key thing about compromat is that you don't even need to use it. The mere fact that it exists is enough. People change their behavior. They become more agreeable, more compliant. They stop asking difficult questions. That's not crime. That's leverage. And the question everyone has been asking since is the same. Who was that footage going to? To understand the foreign intelligence angle, you have to go back one generation, to Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell was one of Britain's most powerful media moguls. He was also long suspected of being an agent of a foreign government, possibly MI6, possibly the KGB, possibly Mossad. When he died in 1991, found floating in the Atlantic, having apparently fallen from his yacht, his funeral in Israel was attended by the Israeli Prime Minister, the Israeli President, and at least 6 serving and former heads of Israeli intelligence. That is not a normal send-off for a British newspaper tycoon. After his death, his empire collapsed, his family was left in ruin. And it was around this time that Epstein drew closer to the Maxwell family. Ghislaine became his partner, his fixer, and according to prosecutors, his primary recruiter of victims. A former Israeli intelligence officer has claimed he met both Epstein and Ghislaine in the 1980s, and that both were already working with Israeli intelligence at that time.
Maxwell was working for Israel. Epstein was working for Maxwell at the time, and he was introduced to Maxwell's daughter, and they were introduced to Israeli intelligence.
That claim has never been confirmed, but it has been repeated by enough serious people that it can't simply be dismissed. Now, the most documented piece of the foreign intelligence connection. Ehud Barak, Israel's former prime minister, its minister of defense, its most decorated soldier. Documents and emails released by the U.S. Department of Justice show Barak visited Epstein approximately 30 times between 2013 and 2017, every month for 11 consecutive months. All of this after Epstein had already been convicted of sex crimes and was a registered sex offender. Epstein served as Barak's fixer and concierge, arranging meetings with Peter Thiel, Nicolas Sarkozy, Noam Chomsky, Vladimir Putin. Leaked emails show a senior Israeli intelligence figure stayed at Epstein's Manhattan apartment for weeks at a time, and that Epstein wired money directly to this individual. In January 2016, Barak was photographed leaving Epstein's townhouse with his face covered. That same day, a large group of young women were seen entering the building. Barak has since said he deeply regrets the association, but the emails don't read like someone who stumbled into a bad relationship. They read like someone who found Epstein very, very useful. So, was Epstein a spy? A 2020 FBI memo stated that Epstein was believed to be a co-opted intelligence agent, trained as a spy, with connections running through U.S. intelligence and beyond. The same memo alleged his longtime lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, served as a link to those networks. A claim Dershowitz denies. Investigative journalists who spent years going through millions of pages of documents concluded that Epstein had extensive relationships with Israeli intelligence, U.S. intelligence, and the agencies of multiple other countries. He brokered a security agreement between Israel and Mongolia, He set up a back channel between Israel and Russia during the Syrian civil war. He helped sell surveillance technology previously used in Gaza to foreign governments. What makes this different from ordinary corruption is the scale. This wasn't one deal or one contact. This was a sustained, years-long operation running across multiple countries, multiple governments, and multiple intelligence services simultaneously. And here is the detail that stops you cold. It wasn't Epstein chasing these intelligence figures, it was them chasing him. One analyst put it simply, it sometimes looked less like Epstein working for intelligence and more like intelligence working for Epstein. That is the most unsettling version of this story. Not that he was a spy, but that he'd made himself so indispensable and to so many powerful people in so many countries that nobody could touch him until they decided they had to.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
This is Just Curious. Subscribe and stay curious.